Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Karate combat, from formation to unprecedented growth. Nice. Okay guys, found this article and I thought I'd share it with you. I'm not going to go through the whole article, but it's just another thing showing you about karate combat. And I just thought I'd show you just a quick few things about karate combat, because obviously I think I've showed you guys my excitement about karate combat. I really do think they are growing in leaps and bounds, and they're really growing to what I think they can be, and which I've already stated before, the crypto UFC. And funnily enough, they've actually done an event on the same weekend as the UFC, so that they're basically competing at this point, right? So really interesting to see that, and I will get into that just a little bit more in a moment. But yeah, for you guys who don't know, karate combat, it's basically a sports league. It's a martial arts combat league, and they are growing exponentially. Like, I've covered them a few times now, and I've been saying it from the beginning, from when I first covered them. I said, guys, there's a lot of promise here, and these guys are really living up to that and more, to be honest with you. They're growing bigger than I would have originally anticipated. I definitely had a lot of high hopes for them in the beginning, but they're actually surpassing that now. And I'm thinking, like, when I said more recently, I think they could be the crypto UFC, like they're really living up to that type of belief right now. So I'm not going to get into the article, as I say. It's just something that's been covered about them. But I think if you guys want to learn more about them, or if you guys are just karate combat fans, it's really good to have a look at, because it shows you like how they started in the early days, how it all went down, how it all started, and how they've basically got to the point of where they are now, and a lot of like the accomplishments that they've made, and how they're doing now and what their plans are. So it's definitely a good read. But there are a few things that I just want to show you just about karate combat, seeing as we're obviously on the subject of them, that I think obviously you guys are going to want to see. So here's just a few just a few bullet points about them. So this is the post about the article in question. And you've got Karate Combat's meteoric rise. Founded in 2018, built on Hedera, governed by fans, which is the karate token. KC47 was a record-breaking 3 million viewers, absolutely incredible. Joe Rogan's attendance was at Consensus 2024, and unprecedented fan engagement with their up-only gaming. So you can just see from those stats, right, that they're really, really starting to grow in a big way. 3 million viewers, for how quick they've got to that point. It's absolutely amazing, guys. Like, I showed you guys before a video, not a video, sorry, a picture, and it was showing you the venue. And I was saying that every time I keep seeing the venues that they do, whether it's like a quick video or pictures, I've seen it go from basically, it being, not saying it was empty, but obviously smaller crowds, and I've seen the crowds develop to a point now where they're pretty much getting like sold out shows. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just pretty much full when you look at the events now. So like you've witnessed the growth. Do you know what I mean? And so that's what I think's really cool, because you've kind of seen their whole come up, and I think that's one of the things as well that people like. When you catch someone who's, like a company, or, like a music artist or something like that, that's not quite made it yet, they're on their way, but they're not quite there yet. You kind of like to be a part of that, right? You like to see the come up and whatnot. And I think that's what a lot of people might find with karate combat, yeah, we were here first. We were here before everybody really knew its name like that, that kind of thing. And I think it shows. I think it shows in terms of the growth. So a few things I just want to quickly show you, and this was just, as I was just saying earlier, about showing you, how it all started. So you've got here some pictures. If you can look at the screen, you can just see the old format of how the ring was from 2017 to 2018 to 2021. And again, as I say, like, you can see, how it's developed, how, they've brought this all to life, and you can just see the difference in terms of, how far karate combat has come along. So, again, I just thought that was really cool to see. Another thing I just want to show you guys here, the participation stats. So this is in regards to the up-only gaming, and just look at this chart. Look at this chart, guys, as we go from each show that they've done, look at how much they're growing, right? You can see the upward trajectory of how they're growing. It's exponential. It's just going up and up and up. And so, as I was saying to you guys before, like, I really do believe, like, this is something that's going to be even bigger. Like, I don't think this is the peak for them. I think this is just the beginning. As I say, they actually recently was competing with UFC. Like, they had their live event at the same time as UFC. I don't know if it was the same day, but it was the same weekend, right? So they're clearly happy to compete at this point, you know, like they may not necessarily go on the exact same time, but it seems like they're competing in terms of the same time frame. Because let's be honest, if you've got two things on the weekend, people are going to compare them, right? Like if you've got two martial art combat types of shows on the weekend, you'll say, well, which one was better, right? You know, that's the kind of thing that you would be thinking. So it seems like, you know, Karate Combat have probably got it in their head that, yeah, like we want to rival these guys. We want to compete with them. And I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you, because that's what, it's that kind of competition that drives you to be better, right? If you're striving to be, you know, up there with the greats, and UFC is obviously one of the great, you know, martial arts shows that we've now got on TV. Yeah, that's going to drive you to want to do things like, how can we get their type of viewership? Like, how can we get ourselves to that level? So that's what's going to drive you, right? So I'm not mad at that at all, to be honest with you. I think that's cool. Another thing that I will just quickly show you guys as well. This is regards to Joe Rogan, right? We actually have here proof that Joe Rogan was in the building for one of their events, and you can see him right there if you could look at the screen, just in the corner there in the white shirt. So I said this before, guys, like there was a thing where Joe Rogan had mentioned Karate Combat on his show, and I said this at the time. I says, look, like, you never know, Joe Rogan is a really down-to-earth guy, and maybe, because I did say I don't think they'd have the budget to afford him to do a commentary, but maybe just for the love of the sport, and just because he is a nice guy, maybe he would one day actually do a commentary for Karate Combat for free. Maybe. I don't want to say that as a matter of fact, like that really is me just speculating, but the fact that he's turned up clearly shows that he's watching them, and I've seen him speak on Karate Combat, and he speaks positively, so you never know, right? You never know. Like, Joe Rogan, he is a very, from what I've seen, he's a very generous person, and he does do a lot of things for the love. Like, for example, he does comedy, and he set up a comedy club, I think in Texas, where he's based, if I remember rightly, and he's made it so that comics can go there for free and, you know, do their material and stuff like that. So he really does try to give back. And so, you know, maybe if he really did like this enough, he'd say one day, you know, I'll commentate a show for you for one time. I definitely don't think they'd have the budget to afford him, because he's like the most successful podcaster in the world. He has the biggest podcast in the world. So his kind of fee would be crazy. And I know he does UFC. Now, maybe because of the UFC contractually, he might not be able to do the Karate Combat thing. But who knows? You know, it's just something that I was thinking about. But the fact that he's turned up is enough. Like, it shows that, you know, he's watching them. The people who watch him, if he talks about Karate Combat, that's promotion, which he has done already. So they're getting around, because, you know, his podcast is listened to literally millions of people around the world. So that already is free promotion that they're getting. So he's already doing a lot, don't get me wrong. So even if he doesn't do the commentary, he's still giving them a lot of promotion either way. And so just the one last thing I just wanted to show you, and this is again about, you know, them competing with the UFC. We've just got this interview here with the HBAR Bull, and look, they're just talking about, you know, how the weekend they had the UFC and the Karate Combat show, and basically there was a knockout on the UFC main event, but there was also a knockout on the Karate Combat main event, and they were just basically saying, look, like, they were both knockouts, but Karate Combat was crazy, and, you know, that one has gone viral. And so they're saying that, you know, Karate Combat has already, like, got a huge viral moment, even though UFC was there as well, competing that, you know, over the weekend. And Karate Combat has got, like, the viral moment from that knockout. So again, it shows you that they're competing, and you know, they're getting that notoriety. Like, they're starting to really build up that name. I have seen the knockout in question, and it's brutal. It is really bad. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. you would think that the guy might have died when you watch it. Like, it is a brutal knockout. It is really bad. The way the guy just folds, it's crazy. So not that obviously you want that kind of impact, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, that is the sport. It happens. You know, there are knockouts and things like that from time to time. So you just have to accept that as part of the, you know, part of the name of the game, right? But the point that I'm making is, they are building up their name. Like this knockout, you know, it's already going around the internet, and I've seen it a few times. So like, this is what I mean. Like, they're getting these viral moments and they're growing. And as I've shown you that graph, like the Up Only Gaming, it's growing. Like, they're doing everything right. So as I've said before, guys, Karate Combat really is just one to watch, and I just continue to grow more and more confidence in them. And I do just think this is just the beginning for them. You know, I really think they've got huge more potential to give. So I would definitely keep your eyes on these ones, guys, because I really think they're going to be something even bigger than what they are now in the future. So if you want to check out the article, Hedera have retweeted the article on their X profile, so you can check it out on a post on Hedera's X profile. But it's all good, guys. The interview is also by HBAR Bull. That's been reposted by the HBAR Foundation. So if you want to check these out, feel free to go in their post and take a look. But definitely, Karate Combat is definitely the one to watch. But what do you guys think? Karate Combat's significant growth. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'll be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.